All right. Emergency broadcast on emergency lesson on how to complete this World War One essay. For some of you, it's a matter of passing the class or not passing the class. So I highly, highly, highly advise that you do this. All right, so here we go. I'm going to keep this near the top. It will never be at the very top, but I'll keep moving it up so it's near the top through the next week and a half here. So this is the World War One resources. Okay, it's got basically everything that can help you with it. I mean, it's as simple as my notes for each DBQ, our original World War One PowerPoint, which may help you with your introduction and conclusion. The World War One background essay answer key. We'll get to that in a second. The World War One background essay itself, the reading, document analysis answer keys here. So we got militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. We got the rubric and expectations for the paper. Remember, it's a 6-paragraph paper. We got the paragraph that I wrote for the class, the World War I DBQ, the militarism. So that's one of the body paragraphs, which knocks you down to only 3 body paragraphs. The titles of the document I want to spend a second on. We'll talk about this a little more, but as you go through and as you introduce evidence, these are the titles you are going to introduce. And I'll show you an example of that in the militarism paragraph. All right. The World War I essay edit checklist is what you do last. And then finally, hints for your body paragraphs. Okay. We'll get into this in a little greater depth, but basically, these are the themes you should try to center your paper around moving forward. So what I'm going to do is to go back to classroom. You're going to scroll down to the World War I essay. I've put everything associated with this essay into this column here, okay? Especially if you've done nothing yet, okay? You want to start at the bottom, okay? And the first thing you have is the World War I background essay, all right? Looks like about 20 of you did it. I got to grade those probably starting tomorrow afternoon. The answer key is attached. Now, that being said, don't just copy this and not understand it, okay? You probably even want to read the essay. If you haven't been doing the World War I assignments, you have no idea what World War I is all about. So read the background essay, okay? You'll notice this when we get to the introductions, but historical background, militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism, that's going to come back into effect. So I'm going to leave this up here real quick. So that's the first thing you want to do, okay? Then we have the document analysis for the 4 documents, okay? Once again, I've attached an answer key to that, okay? Use that answer key, but also understand the documents. So these 4 document analysis, this is where you're getting your evidence for your writing, okay? Starting down here is where you are going to get the evidence to write. For each of these, I've attached an answer key, okay? You need to finish this. It's just easy points, but it also gives you an understanding of where you're going to actually get your evidence to write your paper. All righty, let's go up to the rough draft part. So get these 5 things done before you start the rough draft. You need to have an understanding of what you're going to write about before you get to the rough draft. So you're going to start at the introduction. All right. The introduction. All right. Historical background. Let's look real quick here. Historical background for the background essay. So what you want to do here for the historical background is in, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe even 4 sentences, summarize this information in these boxes into this, because the historical background is asking for where, when, where, who, why, and how. Okay. Sounds good? All right. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to pull out of that quickly. All right. You're going to explain militarism in a sentence. All right. Look what we've done here. We've explained militarism in a sentence. You're going to explain alliances in a sentence. We've done that. You're going to explain imperialism in a sentence. We've done that. You're going to explain nationalism in a sentence. We've done that. So what you need to do then to finish it off is your thesis statement. Okay, I put an 8 out of 10 thesis statement up here in purple. Okay, so World War I was caused by militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. All right, you can use that as your thesis statement. All right, if you want to shoot for a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, explain how militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism work together, were caused by each other, or connected to each other. Okay, but you can use this in purple as your thesis statement. Remember, after you complete each box, okay, you're going to copy and paste it into here. When you copy and paste it into here, okay, it should be one paragraph. It shouldn't be 7 separate sentences. It should be one paragraph. So don't submit a 7 paragraph introduction, and with most of those being a 1 sentence paragraph. So it should be 7. It should be all 6 parts of these into one paragraph. Once you're done with that paragraph, you don't have to do anything else. You can come back up to the final copy, and if you pull up the final copy, it is a blank piece of paper, basically. Type your name in there, and then throw your copy and paste your introduction in there. Once you've done that, you don't have to do anything with the introduction again. All right. So I think we are done with the introduction. All right. Now we are looking at the militarism paragraph. Okay. The militarism paragraph I wrote for you. Use this as your guide. Okay. And I want to point out a couple of things here. The growth in armaments. Okay. That's the title of the document. You notice I've italicized the title of the document. So you produce your evidence. And remember, we have 3 options when we're producing evidence. 1, we can direct quote it. Forgive my handwriting here, but I want to keep this up. Okay, so direct quote is you take the quote directly from the document. Sorry, it's my first time writing with this. You can see how nice it is. You're taking the direct quote from the document and you're putting it in. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to adjust anything. You find a quote that helps support your evidence, okay? Your second option, oh my God, Lordy, Lord. Sorry, doing this live. Much prefer a whiteboard here. All right, so 2, that's my bad, number 2, you can paraphrase. Okay, so say you got a longer quote. All right, when you have a longer quote, you can basically put it into your own words. Okay, as I simply struggle through this writing. Oh my God. There we go. A lot harder than it looks, but I'm sure you guys would do a better job than me. And then your third, which works really good when you have something like a map or a chart where you can't direct quote it, but you can summarize it. So you can explain what that map or chart looks like. You're just going to have to forgive that 3 or else we'll be here all night. And forgive my crazy S here. I'm doing this with the trackpad on my laptop, so oh my God. I'm getting worse. Yeah. So you can summarize it. What you're doing is you're basically summarizing the entire document. Does it always have to be a map, a chart, or a cartoon? No. Sometimes it can be, hey, I think everything in this document is important. Let me explain what this document is saying in a sentence or two. Okay. And then once you're done with your quote, so there's my bad, so you can direct quote, paraphrase, or summarize your evidence. Once you're done introducing the evidence, you close it. All right, remember we called this closing it. Parentheses, document I, okay, or document whatever document you've used from the document analysis. Coming down then, let me please get away from this pen. After you do evidence, you explain the evidence. You explain why that evidence helped cause World War I. All right. Same thing, evidence 2, we introduce the name of the document. This is an example of a direct quote. All right. So see, it's just one sentence introducing the evidence. Then we explain how that evidence helped cause World War I. Shooting down, this is a political cartoon for evidence 3. All right. Oh, my Lord. The political cartoon for evidence 3, we're showing that we close the document once we finish summarizing that, and then we explain it. Okay. Then I take all I've done. Oh, I forgot one part, the topic sentence. Okay. The topic sentence is a one sentence introduction. Okay. And this is where hints for your body paragraphs might help. All right. So I haven't gone through this yet, but for example, in like militarism, one, I tell you what documents to do. Okay. Use. In this case, let's go to alliances. I'm explaining what the primary focus is. So I'm basically telling you in alliances, how alliances helped cause World War I. So you use these ideas to help you find appropriate evidence to use for your paragraphs. Okay, so when you get to imperialism, look at this and go, why did imperialism help cause World War I? Well, I have to look at documents M, N, and O, but I also need to find and explain evidence to understand that Europe was engaged in imperialism, and they saw this imperialism as a symbol of power. And most of Europe, Germany especially, sees the vast empire that Great Britain has built, and they're threatened by it. And then the final thing, this is what they use imperialism for. So remember, your topic sentence is your one sentence introduction to your paragraph. Okay. So you let us know that in this paragraph, we are talking about militarism and how militarism led to World War I. So this is a really simple, straightforward one. Prior to World War I, European nations were engaging in militarism in preparation for a potential war. You don't have to go to the document analysis and quote anything. In fact, your topic sentence should not quote anything. All right. Moving on. All right. So I've done that for you. If you want to take all that, after you've done this, you can take this paragraph and pop it into your final copy. So you got your introduction, you can add your militarism paragraph into it. So now you're 2 paragraphs done. You can go word for word with this. Okay, remember we did this with our last thing where I showed you a body paragraph, and I'm less concerned about you creating something original, especially since many of you haven't started this at all. Use this as a guide. Use this then for the rest of your paragraphs and see this is how my paragraph should be formatted. So we're getting to a little more difficult part, the alliances. Start with the topic sentence, introduce evidence, and remember we go back to this. So for alliances, I'm going back to my document analysis, and I'm looking at documents A, B, C, and D. And I got to find 3 pieces of evidence here. All right. I find that evidence. I take a sentence or 2 to explain it. Remember, I can use direct quotes, I can paraphrase it, or I can summarize my evidence. Once I get to the explanation part, it's my show. Okay, I get to decide, and it's my opportunity as a writer to explain how this is connected to our work, how this is connected to what caused World War I. All right, why is the evidence I just presented important? So once again, like we've done all year, evidence or topic sentence, evidence, explanation, evidence, explanation, evidence, explanation. The format doesn't change. All right. You're using your hints here. And remember with alliances, The reason why alliances caused World War I is all these countries had secret or non-secret alliances, and if one went to war, that meant they went to war. So what started as a very regional conflict, okay, a very small regional conflict, because of alliances, it blew it up. And this last sentence is important here. Alliances got countries involved in this war that had no business being involved in this war. Okay, so what you're doing then is using documents A, B, C, and D to find evidence to support that. Okay, like we've been doing all year. All right, let's close alliances. Imperialism, we go back to the hints. All right, in imperialism, we're using documents M, N, and W. Now, a couple of these have multiple things, and this actually goes for everything. I don't want you to use one document for you to find 3 pieces of evidence, but if you can find 2 really good pieces of evidence in a document, you can use the same document twice, okay? So with imperialism, as I explained when I first showed this, the idea of imperialism is most of Europe is engaging in imperialism. If you remember imperialism from our last unit, imperialism is when a stronger country takes over a weaker country. Generally, Europe was conquering countries in Africa and Asia and in Central and South America. But for the most part, it's mostly focused in the 20th century on Africa and parts of Asia. All right. Great Britain has the greatest at time empire in the world. Germany sees that as a threat because they know that with imperialism comes power, comes access to more supplies, resources, and eventually money, which helps build up countries' militarism. All right, so now we've done the militarism part. We're back to nationalism. All right, we're closing this out. The nationalism thing, you're going to use documents E, F, G, and H. So your primary emphasis in these documents is to emphasize that countries felt that their people, leader, and country were superior to their neighbors. You'll see a couple of national anthems. These are written and sung in school for children because they want to teach, or words we've used in our study of World War I, indoctrinate or brainwash the children at an early age. Why is this dangerous? This is a little different from patriotism. Patriotism is pride in your country. Nationalism is extreme pride in your country to the point where you believe that it is your like God-given right that you can conquer others. You can expand your land. This is a huge issue in World War I and World War II. Okay. The spark that starts the war, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, was done out of nationalism. You know, the ethnic minority believed that they were superior people and they belonged in charge. Okay. Cluck out nationalism. Finally, we're at the conclusion. Okay. Pretty simple here. Go back to your thesis statement, restate it. All right. If you can do it in original words, meaning a different thesis statement, not a different meaning, but you state your thesis statement differently, that's great. But we're running out of time here. If you just have to go back with what you had originally, that's fine too. Okay. You're going to summarize your militarism paragraph in a sentence. You're going to summarize your alliances paragraph in a sentence. Hint, hint. Use these. You don't have to go back and find new evidence. Just use the ideas emphasized in here. Put these into your own words. Okay. You don't have to do more than a sentence for. So part 1, restate your thesis statement. Part 2, summarize your militarism paragraph. Part 3, summarize your alliances paragraph. Part 4, summarize your imperialism paragraph. Part 5, summarize your nationalism paragraph. And then why is this important? Okay, this is what you end your paper with. If you've done any of the World War II work, you understand how World War I led to World War II. Okay, but even if you haven't done that work, why is a world war so dangerous? What would this mean for the future of Europe? What does this mean today? The more in depth, the stronger your conclusion paragraph is. If it's just as simple as, hey, war's bad and all these people died for really bad reasons, okay? That nothing was really accomplished out of this, No great evil was defeated, but just a lot of people died. That's fine. That's not the greatest. Why is this important? But it's sufficient. It's proficient. We'll take it. You take all this, you copy it just like you did for all your body paragraphs. You throw it in your final copy. You hit submit. You get this done, and this is out of your hair, right? And basically, this class is out of your hair then, right? You don't really have too much to do next week, right? Especially those of you that flunked third quarter. The quicker you get this in, the quicker I can get back to you and be like, hey, you're good. You're going to get a passing grade. Or, hey, your grade's this much better now. This is one assignment you have to do, or this is 6 assignments I need you to do. Okay. And they're going to be much smaller than this. But if you haven't finished the World War I DBQ, make that your priority. Ignore the World War II stuff until you finish this. Remember all of this good stuff here. Okay. We can go back and it is in, let me use my pen again. It's in the World War I resources. And you can see I didn't get any better at this pen by the end of the video. Okay. Use this, take advantage of this, email me, go, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. Can you hop in my document real quick? I'm working on my alliances paragraph. I can do that. Okay. Start working on this immediately. Okay. For some of you, not doing this essay will result in you having to take this class again next year. If you didn't get a passing grade third quarter and you don't write this essay, it's impossible to get a passing grade for the semester. Okay. And that means next year you're going to have to retake this class. Okay. I love you all. I don't want to see you in my world history classes again. I'd love to see you in my American history classes, but world history, we're going to say no thank you on that. Okay. Please, please, please. I want to pass everybody, but this essay must be done. Don't worry about the 5-point assignments. Do this assignment. It's impossible to pass this quarter without writing this essay. Okay. Hope everybody's well. Please, please, please contact me. Okay. When you need help. I'm here all week next week. The week that's supposed to be finals, I'm here to help that week too. Okay. I rarely sleep. My email's always on. I will get back to you as quick as I can. All right. Please reach out. Please seek help. I'm here for you. Let's get this done. Let's get this off our plate and move on and have a terrific summer. We'll talk to you later.